Welcome to the new part of the Room database series. In the last part, we have successfully created the design of our recycler view adapter. Now we are going to create the class of our adapter. Okay, so first we need to take the class over here, right click over here and new Kotlin class file, and I will name it as display display adapter, and click enter. Now this adapter, it will extend the first specify here the here I will specify the context here. Let's take one context here where context context of type context, and the next parameter I'm going to take is the list, which is where list, and which will be of type mutable list of type employee. Okay, now it will extend the recycler view, extend recycler view dot adapter, recycler view dot adapter, and we will pass here the display adapter dot, here we will pass the class which is holder. This is the class we are going to create. Let's pass the class over here. Okay, now click over here and create a class holder. Okay, now click over here and implement the members, and it will override those function on create view holder, on bind view holder, and get item count, and click OK. Now move over here. Now inside the on create view holder, we are going to first let's create the instance of binding here. Let's go to the adapter record design over here, and let's move into display adapter over here. Let's first create the instance of binding over here. Let in it where binding of type adapter record design binding. Okay, now let initialize it over here inside on create view holder. It will initialize to binding is initialized to adapter record design binding dot inflate, and here I will pass the layout inflator dot from, here I will pass the context, and the next argument it will take the parent, and attached to root I am passing here is false. Okay, and it will return folder, and here I will pass the binding dot root. Okay, now inside the get item count I am going to return the size of the list, return list dot size over here. Now inside the on bind holder I'm going to set holder dot binding. First let's go to the class over here. So inside our class, let's copy this class, Control X, and paste it after this. And first let's pass the parameter inside the class. Here I will pass is var binding of type adapter record design binding, and it will extend recycler view dot view holder, and it will take binding dot root over here. Okay, now inside the holder I will pass holder dot binding dot record, and here I will pass list position. Okay, and the next I'm going to pass here is now let's remove the root from here. Okay, now it's fine as you can see. Now I'm going to create one interface over here. Let's create one interface. Let's create one interface over here. Uh, let's create the interface to handle the click event of our recycler view. Inside our recycler view, on the click of that button, I'm going to delete the record. Okay, let's create one interface over here. I am giving interface click handler. Okay, and inside it, I will create one function fun on item click, and inside it, I will pass here is a position of type int. Okay, now here I will take one listener var listener of type click handler. Okay, now on the click of those, I'm going to delete the records. Okay, let's pass it here inside the on bind view holder. I will pass holder dot binding dot button delete dot set on click listener, and on the click of this button I'm going to delete those record listener dot on item click, and I'm going to pass here is a position. Okay, let's save it and let's make it private and make it private. Okay, and also make it private over here. Click here and make it private, and let's go over here and make it private. Okay, now go to the display fragment over here and let's remove this line. Let's remove this line. Okay, now also remove this on create function over from here. Okay, now also remove this and remove this and delete that companion object. Okay, let's save it and first convert it to data binding layout. Click here, show context action and convert to data binding layout and remove this line and save it. Now move to the display fragment over here. Now we are going to implement the logic of our to display the record. Okay. First we need to create the instance of binding. So let's create the instance of binding over here. inside our display fragment, here I will write late init where binding of type fragment display binding, and here I will also late initialize the database late init where database of type employee database. Okay, now here inside our, let's remove this line and initialize the binding over here, and binding initialized to fragment display binding dot inflate, and it will take, here is a layout inflator and container attached to root. I am passing here is false. Okay, now it will return binding dot root. Now override one function which is on view created. On view created. Inside the on view, let's initialize the database over here. Database initialized to employee database dot get instance, and it will take the following effort. One is the instance. I am passing the instance require context and dot application context. Okay. Now I am going to call the global scope dot launch coroutine scope global scope dot launch. Okay. Now I'm going to first take one variable data of type mutable list over here, late in it where data which of type mutable list of type employee. Okay. Now inside this coroutine scope, let's initialize it. Data is initialized to database dot employee dio dot get employee dot to to mutable list over here. Now I will run over here require activity require activity and dot run on UI thread, and I will pass over here is first initialize the adapter over here, adapter, and let's create the instance of adapter over here, and I will pass here display adapter, and it will take the following argument. First it will take the context. I will pass here is a require context, and the next argument take is it will the list which is our data. I'm going to pass the list over here. The next it will take the listener, and I will pass over here this at the rate display fragment. Okay. So our class adapter class will also implement the interface here. I forgot to do this. Now move to the display adapter over here, and it will also implement our interface, and it will implement the handler. It will also implement the interface over here. Move back to the display fragment over here, and this is our class. It will extend fragment and comma display dot click handler, which is our interface. Okay, and it will implement the members and on item click position. Okay, now it is okay. Now on item click here, I'm going to delete the record. So here I will pass the code team scope global scope dot launch, and inside it I will pass database dot employee dio dot delete employee, and inside it I will pass the data dot get, and it will take the position over here, and it I will convert to dot take it will take the id. I will record the delete the record according to its id and convert it to int. Okay, now it is done. Again I am checking the code. Now it is done, and first let convert this to private and convert it to private. Okay, now let's run that app and check how it's performed. Okay, let's run the as you can see over there, the application has successfully been launched. Now if I want to enter the username, let's enter the first record over here. I'm enter is JG, and let's enter the user ID. I am entering at 224. Let's enter the address. I am entering the address as India. Any address you can add. Let's I'm adding the experience at 12 years, and here I'm setting the department as IT. Okay, now let's save this. As you can see, get the toast message. The record has been inserted successfully. Let's view the record. As you can see, you have successfully got the first entry inside our room database. Okay, let's enter the second record over here, and let's enter the random record John, and employee ID I am setting as 345, and let's enter as address as USA, and experience I am adding as 3 years, and let's enter the department as sales, and let's save it. Okay, as you can see, the record has inserted successfully, and let's view the record. As you can see, I am having the two record inside our room database, and if I want to delete the record name JG, let's delete it. Okay, let's move backward and let's view it. As you can see, I have left only with the one record, and let's delete the only record which I have left, and let's view again. As you can see, I have no record inside the database. Okay, so this is done, and I'm also going to attach the file. You can download it for the reference. Thank you.